You are stuck, and you know you're stuck. You can see the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You know you should be doing something, but you're not doing it. And the problem isn't that you don't have the information. It's not that you don't have the tools. It's not that you don't have the time. The problem is what you believe about yourself. The beliefs you're carrying around that are keeping you exactly where you are. And here's the thing, most of these beliefs are invisible to you. You don't even realize that they're there. They're running in the background of your life, shaping your every decision, limiting your actions, and keeping you stuck. So let's talk about the beliefs that are keeping you stuck, and more importantly, how to dismantle them. First, let's be clear about what a belief actually is, because most people think beliefs are just thoughts, but they're not. Beliefs are assumptions you've accepted as truth. They're stories you've told yourself so many times that you've stopped questioning them. And once something becomes a belief, it becomes invisible. You don't think about it anymore. You just operate from it. It becomes the lens through which you see everything. So if you believe you're not the kind of person who takes risk, you won't take risk. Not because you decided not to, but because it doesn't even occur to you as an option. The belief filters it out before it ever becomes a conscious choice. This is why beliefs are so powerful. And this is why they're so hard to change. Because you can't change something you can't see. So let's make them visible. Let's talk about the most common limiting beliefs that keep people stuck. The first one is I'm not the kind of person who does that. This is the big one, the identity belief. And it's the most insidious because it feels like truth. It feels like who you are. You look at the thing you want to do and you think, that's not me. I'm not that kind of person. Maybe you want to build a business, but you're not an entrepreneur. You're an employee. That's who you are. So the idea of building a business feels foreign. It feels fake. It feels like pretending. Or maybe you want to create content, but you're not a quote creator. You're someone who consumes. You're private. You don't put yourself out there. So the idea of posting online feels extremely uncomfortable. It feels exposing. And because it feels wrong, you don't do it. Not because you can't, but because it conflicts with who you believe you are. This belief is keeping you stuck because it's limiting your identity. And when you limit your identity, you limit your actions. You can only do what fits within the boundaries of who you think you are. But here's the truth, you're not a fixed thing. You're not one kind of person. You're whoever you decide to become. And that starts with questioning the belief that you're limited to who you've been in the past. The second belief that keeps people stuck is I'm not ready yet. And this one sounds reasonable. It sounds like you're being responsible. You're waiting until you're really prepared, until you know enough, until you have all the pieces in place. But here's what's actually happening. You're not using you're actually using the not ready as an excuse to avoid discomfort. Because the truth is you're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel like you know enough. You're never going to feel confident before you start. Readiness doesn't come before action, it comes after. You don't get ready and then do the thing. You do the thing, and that's what makes you ready. But if you believe you need to be ready first, you'll wait forever. You'll keep learning, you'll keep preparing, keep gathering information, and you'll never actually start. And this belief is keeping you stuck because it's giving you permission to stay comfortable. It's letting you avoid the thing you're scared of by disguising it as responsibility. But it's not responsibility, it's avoidance. The third belief is if I fail, it means that I'm not good enough. And this belief ties your worth to your results. And when you do that, failure becomes terrifying because it's not just about the task anymore, it's about you. Your value, your capability. So you don't try, or you try half heartedly, or you sabotage yourself before you can really fail. Because if you truly fail, it confirms what you're scared of, that you're not good enough. But here's the problem with this belief, it's backwards. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. Failure means you tried something you weren't good at yet. And that's how you actually get good. by doing it badly first, by failing, by learning, by adjusting. The people who are good at things, they're good because they failed. They're good because they failed more than you. They failed early, they failed often, and they kept going. But if you believe failure means you're not good enough, you'll protect yourself from it. And in protecting yourself from failure, you'll protect yourself from growth. And this belief is keeping you stuck because it's making the stakes too high. It's turning every action into a referendum on your worth. And when the stakes are that high, you'll freeze. The fourth belief that keeps you stuck is success requires sacrifices that I'm just not willing to make. And this one sounds like realism, like you're just being honest about what you're willing to do. But what's actually happening is you're creating a story about what success requires. And then you're using that story as a reason to not try. You tell yourself, if I want to build a business, I have to work 80 hours a week. I'll have to give up my life. I'll have to burn out. Or if I want to create content, I'll have to be on all the time. I'll have to perform. I'll have to sacrifice my privacy. But none of that is absolutely true. Those are stories you've picked up from other people, from hustle culture, from the loudest voices online. The truth is, success doesn't require the sacrifice you think it does. It requires consistency, of course. It requires showing up. It requires doing the work, but it doesn't require you to destroy yourself in the process. But if you believe it does, you won't even try because you've already decided that the cost is too high. And this belief is keeping you stuck because it's giving you an out. It's letting you avoid the work by convincing yourself the work requires something you're not willing to give. But the work doesn't actually require that. You just believe it does. And the fifth belief is other people can do it, but I can't. And this is the comparison belief. And it's brutal. You look at other people who are doing the thing that you want to do and that you think they're different. They're more talented. They're more confident. They're more capable. They have something that I don't have. And because you believe that, you don't ever try. Because why would you? If you think that they have something you don't, then it's not even possible for you. It's not in the cards. But here's what you're missing: the people you're comparing yourself to aren't that special. They're not more capable. They're not more talented. They're just further along the journey. They've been doing it longer. They failed more. They've learned more. And they started exactly where you are. Unsure, uncomfortable, not knowing what they were doing, but they started it anyway. And that's the only difference. This belief is keeping you stuck because it's giving you permission to opt out. It's letting you and giving you permission to stay on the sidelines by convincing yourself that you don't belong in the game. But you do belong. You just haven't started yet. So, how do you dismantle these beliefs? Because knowing they're there isn't enough. You have to actively challenge them. You have to replace them with beliefs that actually serve you. The first thing you need to do is identify the belief because you can't change what you can't see. So the first step is to make the belief conscious, to bring it out of the background and look at it directly. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself that's keeping me stuck? What story am I telling myself about why I can't do this? And be honest. Don't give yourself the polished answer. Give yourself the real one, the one you're embarrassed to admit. Next, you need to question the belief. Once you've identified it, challenge it. Ask, is this actually true? Or is this just a story I've been telling myself? Where did this belief come from? Did I choose it or did someone else give it to me? What evidence do I have that it's true? And what evidence do I have that it's not? Most of the time, when you actually examine a limiting belief, it falls apart because it's not based on truth. It's based on fear or assumptions or something someone told you a long time ago. And the third thing you must do is test the belief. The best way to dismantle a belief is to act against it, to do the thing the belief says you can't do, and to see what happens. If you believe you're not the kind of person who takes action, take action just once and see what happens. If you believe you're not ready, start anyway and see what happens. It's an experiment. If you believe failure means you're not good enough, fail at something small and just see what happens. Most of the time, What happens is nothing, or at least nothing bad. The belief was a story, and stories can't hurt you. Finally, replace the belief. You can't just get rid of a belief, you have to replace it with a better one. Instead of, I'm not the kind of person who does that, try, I'm becoming the person who does that. Instead of, I'm not ready yet, try, I'll learn. Instead of, if I fail, it means I'm not. If I, it means I tried something. Belief doesn't have to feel true yet. You're not trying to convince yourself. You're just planting a seed. And over time, as you act from the new belief, it becomes real. Here's what I want you to think about. What's one belief you have you have about yourself that's keeping you stuck? Not the surface one, the real one, the one you don't want to admit. And then ask yourself, is this belief actually true? Or is it just a story I've been carrying around? Because if it's just a story, you can change it. You can rewrite it. You can replace it with something better. And once you do that, you're not stuck anymore. If this resonates with you, head over to natehooks.com. Link is in the description below. There you'll find links to a free community that I've created called Beyond Overthinking. And if you want to work with me personally, one on one, I've got a few options there as well. Either way, thanks for watching. And remember, the beliefs that are keeping you stuck aren't facts, they're just stories. And you can change the story anytime you want.